We could talk about the debut of Kachuk and Murray. We will. But I think the Pinto injury is probably what most people are going to talk about. He got tied up with Mario Ferraro going into the corner and just got, it looked like Ferraro caught him on the inside left shoulder, sending them wildly careening into the boards hard on the right shoulder. And that did not look good, did it?
No. Immediately upon seeing it, it's like, uh-oh, that's not good. That's a dislocation or a separation. The boys on TSN were speculating and comparing notes as to injuries they both suffered, both Mark Mathot and Mike Johnson there, about how long you recuperate from this or that, or even Duffy got in on it with his shoulder injuries. But just it was he was beyond the foot and a half from the wall. I think that was probably the biggest problem. If he's a little closer to the boards, it's probably nowhere near as severe. If he's further away from the boards, it's definitely nowhere near as severe. And as you said, slightly off balance. I think he kind of lifted his right foot at the same time that Ferraro came in and got him in the middle of the chest, really, and just off balance, completely off your feet, and wham into the wall,
Yeah.
shoulder first. That yeah, I don't want to speculate, but either way, it's a couple weeks minimum. I would think he's out.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Clean,
Yeah,
accidental, or dirty?
no, that's a clean hit. That's a clean play. That's two guys fighting for ice, approaching a puck. I mean, Pinto did have the puck, right? He tried to get to the outside, made a little stutter step move, and that's what kind of maybe got him a little off balance. And it was just freak, accidental, exact right time, and exact right body position. Both Pinto's body position and Ferraro's position that allowed it to escalate to what it ended up being. I thought you didn't think it was dirty in any way, did you?
Not at all. No, I looked at it a number of times, and I think it was just a matter of expectation. I think Shane Pinto was thinking that because they're almost shoulder to shoulder, that really no serious collision can occur, and probably if he's going to get him, it'll be smoking him at the end boards. But at that moment, it was basically Ferraro kind of got out in front of his inside shoulder and gave him a jolt that I think he didn't expect, and that's what caught that. That's what really knocked him off stride and flying into the boards. Nothing illegal about it. Just I think one player expecting something that didn't happen. That's all.
Yeah, right. That's you want to finish. We tell players down, up, and through with the shoulder, and if you get the shoulder right in the middle of the chest as you're coming up with the force from your legs, you're going to knock the guy right off his feet. And San Jose would be thrilled with the play that Ferraro made. That's exactly what they want from a young kid like that. And
Yeah. I would say there would be a lot of people that are wondering about Pinto's return to the game. I think initially people were going, "Oh my God, Pinto's back." He came back in the second period and played one shift, and as I outlined, it didn't go very well. He left immediately down the hall again and did not come back after that one. What do you think of him coming back like that? I was surprised by it when I saw. You could tell even before the goal and the slash by Meyer, you could tell he was laboring out there, couldn't you?
yeah, it was strange. I was just like you said. Oh, hey, he's back. Great. Glad to see it's not that bad. But then he took a swing at a puck there in the air, and he missed it or only caught a piece of it, and he started to grimace from that. I don't know that
Yeah.
it was the hit from Meyer or the glancing blow from Meyer. I think it was as he swung at the puck in the air that it looked like his shoulder popped out again, or like there was that zzz, that stinger up his shoulder
Yeah.
right away, and he was done right then and there. So the question is, whose decision was it that he's back in the game? I'm
Yeah.
thinking a guy with 13 games NHL experience, or it's 15. I guess he played 12 last year, so 15 games
Yep.
NHL experience. You got to believe that there's not a strong enough rapport relationship with the training staff that the player could say, "Oh no, I'm okay," and the trainer would fall for that, or the equipment guy, or the athletic therapist would fall for that. So somebody must have made a diagnosis that said, "Yeah, he's good to go." And that struck me as strange, if in fact he wasn't good to go, and it sure looked like he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think there's any ill intent there, but yeah,
No,
I think that was probably one you'd like to have a do over on, and you rely to some degree on the patient, right? And maybe he was able to lift his arm in a good way, and yeah, I'm feeling fine. I mean, you know, Shane Pinto, he went into training camp. DJ Smith told the world that There's nothing guaranteed, and he won himself a spot, and he was excited to be in the NHL, and that's the last thing the kid wanted. Just like Colin White before him, just at the start of a season, Colin White, he had to prove that he belongs in the NHL. He had that opportunity, and he got the shoulder injury. And now the same thing happens to Shane Pinto. We don't know how long he's going to be out. And I guess the question is now with White and Pinto both injured, like now what down the middle after Josh Norris?
Yeah.
Tierney's been decent, but I mean, that can't be your second line center.
Yeah, and Tierney, with all due respect, I don't think he's going to maintain the pace that he started with. I mean, he didn't
No.
last year, and he didn't maintain the pace in this game tonight. So, but that's the perils of you started a season with less than 75 games experience at center ice on your top two lines. Between
Right.
those two guys who were less than 75 games experience. So you knew you needed a center. God, even Eugene told us that they needed a center months ago, or sorry, told Bob McCowan months ago that they needed a centerman. It didn't happen. Supposedly Pierre's been on the phone looking, talking, whatever for the last little while. It brings up all those names again. Is it Strome? One of the Stromes? Is it an Adam Henrique? I've always liked to mention to you Kevin LeBanc at one time. Like who's out there that you're going to get now and not pay a premium for because everybody knows you're in a bad spot.
Yeah. I don't know that I still want to stay the course. I still believe that, I mean, if everyone was healthy, they'd have a shot at the playoffs. I've already predicted that they will make the playoffs. If Pinto's out long term, I may have to revise things, but I'm sticking with it for now. But in the meantime, yeah, I don't think that they're so close that you start giving away some of your future assets, draft picks, young prospects to bring in that band-aid centerman. Is there someone, though, in the organization? You know, if you're ever going to try Tim Stützle at center, it would be probably about now. Nick Paul, he played center in junior. Mark Kastelik's down in the minors. It's not ideal, but I think I'd probably go fill it up internally rather than go out and get a Dylan Strome because everybody we're talking about internally, yeah, they got warts for very different reasons. Dylan Strome, as an example, and everybody you mentioned, they too have warts. If there was somebody really great that they could bring in and get him for cheap, a Kyle Turris scenario where you had to give up almost nothing, then great, bring it on.
Logan Brown.
Yeah, there you go. You brought him up first. Love it. Love it.
There's a
I
centerman.
can't see it. Yeah.
He's looking for
He
a
is a
place to
centerman.
play.
Well, I mean, he's probably kicking himself right now because surely he would be getting an opportunity at this juncture in time, no matter what happened at training camp. No, what they would have to, even if he went in and just spit in DJ Smith's face. I know that didn't happen, but even if something like that happened in training camp, and he demanded a trade or something, they'd almost have to go to him now, wouldn't they?
Yeah. If he were still here, he'd certainly be playing second line center Saturday night, wouldn't he? Poor guy.
I would think.
But
Yeah.
sorry, you listed off a bunch of guys there, and I'm sorry, not one of them I like to be. There's got to be a better player out there on the market somewhere than what's internally. I'm not would not be happy with Stützle playing down the middle defensively as a center. He's had 0 reps in this league at this level. Nick Paul, yes, can play center, but he's so much the chemistry that he shows playing with Brown and with whoever you want to put in the middle there.
Well, Brown would continue to be his winger, I would think.
And then whoever would go in between them. I don't know. I liked Adam Henrique back in the summer. The contract situation would work, and I don't think it would cost you that much. Even if you brought in Tomas Hertl from the Sharks there, who's been rumored, but not necessarily a centerman, but could still come in and give you some more depth that maybe you could move Paul to the middle because then you'd have a better winger. I've never been a fan of either Strome. I don't think Kastelik's the answer. I don't know that there is an internal answer right now.
If there is, I think it's Nick Paul. I think that at least with him, and we saw it tonight, this is a team that held San Jose to 2 goals, but they couldn't score enough. And Nick Paul, I think, will be a case of as a second line center, he'll do everything in an immaculate fashion. Unfortunately, he's not going to bring the offense on a consistent enough basis for you to win a lot of hockey games. You're going to have to win a lot of games 2-3-1 because I mean, you've got to have more offensive push than Nick Paul in your second line center, I think.
Yeah, and there's been a history here with this organization of guys elevating in the lineup due to injury who did very well for themselves. I think to a Chris Kelly, a Zach Smith for a stretch, JG Pageau basically climbed up and knocked Nick Paul right out of there at one point. So there's been a history of centers historically in this organization that have done it. I just I don't know. Maybe it's Tyler Ennis. He can play down the middle.